Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to everybody to the cool Kansas last meeting in February. Has everybody had a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Okay. I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. I second, Mr. Chairman.
It's been moved and seconded. I assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. Commissioner comments and committee reports.
I have a JCAP meeting today. They've changed it. It was going to be yesterday. Then it was going to be today at 2 o'clock. But now it's at 3 o'clock in Leavenworth. Juvenile correction. That's all I have.
Good.
Okay, I have a NEK multi-county health meeting next Monday, March 4th at Jackson County.
Yep, I don't have anything. Seth Howard. Want to come up? Sure. First thing is your road and bridge K.S.A high-risk rural road program. You explain it to
should have something in the packet for that. What this is just our 1302 form stating that we will do the project. We're going to attempt to see if they'll let us bid or let this project a little bit earlier, since it's not going to take long to design. So we're going to attempt to do April of 2021 with this, and it's 100% paid through this program. The amount of $238,000.
Okay, and this is all funded by K.S.A.
Federal fund.
The chair would.
Is there anything in there for labor?
Everything's all included. 238,000 is labor.
So we should have some money left over. We're doing it in house.
We're not doing it.
Oh, we're not doing it in house.
It'll be out to bid.
Okay. I have this.
The chair would entertain a motion to approve the programming request.
I so move, Mr. Chairman.
And I'll second that.
Okay. Move the second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passes 3-0. Do you have a copy, Seth?
If we have two, that'd be great.
All right, I've got a second one.
Okay. So here's the original.
Together two. The GPOs for me.
Okay. I stuck the other one in the packet. Okay, next we have the overhaul of a truck. Do you want to explain it to everybody, Seth?
Basically, our crews went out, checked the truck over one morning, realized it wasn't running right. Brought MHC Kenworth down. They ran some diagnostics on it. Realized that some cylinders were bad. Some work needs to be done on the camshaft, which resulted into a $15,000 repair bill. And we further investigated. We thought a better deal would be just to do a complete overhaul on the motor while we had it torn apart. And then we get some warranty with that. So what I propose to you there is the complete overhaul with a 4-year warranty.
Okay, this, of course, for the public, it's $25,596.
If without the warranty, or with only 2 years warranty. For the extended 2 years, it'd be another. It's on the PO as the total. They didn't include the extended warranty on that.
Okay, so it's $28,986 with a
Correct.
4-year warranty.
Correct.
There's only one bid.
Correct. It's with the manufacturer dealership repair. So through Kenworth. Yeah, Kenworth truck.
Wouldn't that be good to have another bid on that?
mean, we could always do that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it'd be warranted through Kenworth.
It would take a Kenworth dealer.
I assume that's because only our shop only contacted Kenworth. I mean, I'm sure it could go elsewhere for motor work. I just,
Looks like anybody that sold cat could want it. It's a cat motor.
I mean, if you like, we can try to get some more bids and bring it back next week. It's just,
I'd personally like another bid, or maybe even somebody in town.
could we possibly approve up to that amount? So if I get a bid and it's higher, we can go ahead and proceed because this is one of our main haul trucks.
I've been trying to figure out what the difference is.
As in-
If you're going to get another bid, you're going to bring it back, right?
Well, if I can be approved up to that amount for repairs, if the bid comes in lower, I can take that bid. If not, I'll proceed with this one. So I don't have to wait another week.
What do you guys think?
Or do you want to see the numbers?
I think I'd prefer to see the numbers, and also think probably by the time you contact them and they work something up, I think it will be the majority of that time.
In a
I
warranty,
think
it's
it may be
just
just a couple days difference.
so warranty is just an insurance policy. So
For the most part, yes.
if there's not a Kenworth dealer, they probably could still get the insurance policy for the warranty.
Well, I'm sure. Depending on whatever motor they,
Okay.
It's a cat motor, correct?
I believe so.
And
Okay.
Seth, I apologize we didn't really say that this morning,
That's fine.
but I hate to put you to double work when you
That's fine.
take
I'll go
that.
back.
Okay, then there's this purchase order here for a salt spreader. You want to explain that? Seth?
This spreader will actually outfit our F550, which right now only has a plow on it. So this will actually be a 2-in-1 vehicle now instead of just a plow, and then we have to take a separate salt truck out after the plowing's done. So it's to just incorporate 2 pieces of equipment into one, and we can do away with the other salt spreader and sell it and make money back for it.
What would be the worth of the old?
It might be worth. It's a stainless steel salt spreader, so it could be worth
The
something.
new one's how much?
$8,778.
$1,500 maybe.
Possibly.
So you're probably down out about 6,000.
And you said you had 5,000 in salvage sales?
5,000 to 6,000, I believe that we have in salvage.
So the money's going to come from the salvage sales. Okay.
I like the fact that the truck can be used more than just push or snow. And then in the summertime, you use that truck for
Cold patch.
just take the spreader off and the plow off.
So the chair would entertain a motion to purchase from American Equipment a salt spreader stainless steel electric installed for $8,778.
I so moved, Mr. Chairman.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 3-0.
Thank you. Hopefully we don't need it this year anymore, but
I would say
we're going to attempt to get it in as quick as possible.
we won't have it in time.
Now, do you have a place to lift it up like you do the big spreaders? Okay.
It'll basically go on our same spreader holders out there at our shop where we can use our later.
Actually, it's snow clear on Mother's Day, so we're going.
How's our salt? Where are we at?
We got one storm worth of material. We had a bunch of sand hauled in today. Salt wise, we're still waiting on 100 tons to be shipped to us. We have no time frame on that, so we hope something will happen but if not, we just hope no more snow comes. So. And we are out there, we're working on all the roads right now. They are a mess, so bear with us. We are doing our best to get those taken care of. So.
Have you looked at any alternates to salt?
We really don't have I mean, unless we want to change our equipment up, we can do the beet juice and all that, but we
You
don't
don't
have
have
the equipment for that.
Got to be a certain temperature for beet juice, doesn't it?
And I'm not familiar with all that right now. I mean, I have to go do.
I know the city tested it. I don't know what the results
I don't think they're using. I think they're back to straight salt and sand. It's just more convenient.
I think in any further research, we talked briefly this morning about the effect that the salt has on the chip and seal roads, and maybe that's something that we haven't considered before what the cost is. So if you do research any of these products, you know, we might kind of see what the effects that they would have on the roads, because Edwards Road is, especially in the city limits there where it got the salt on it, is falling apart, and if there would be another product that would help stop that or eliminate that problem, it would help.
Not so much from the salt, but the moisture getting underneath
A lot
the
of it's the
cracks.
moisture. Some of it is salt. I mean, so basically the moisture got on it, popped it. Well, the salt now gets down into that, and the base is pretty much gone.
I think I've seen more potholes
So
everywhere I've been, whether
it was
it's
just a matter of the
here
winter
in
we
Kansas
had this
City or
year.
whatever.
A weekly storm, it really played
Yeah.
effect. We couldn't get out there, get the roads back up after the storm. You don't want to haul rock right before a snowstorm because it blows, or we blade it right back off the road. So that's the muddy road conditions. So hopefully within a week, if we have no more snow, we can kind of be back up and moving and getting things caught up. But it's going to be a time-consuming process for us. So.
Are we able to haul gravel on the gravel roads? I mean, is it like in the mornings before it thaws?
We're doing the really muddy areas in the morning, and we try to steer clear of those after it thaws out. Today, they've said they've been able to work quite a few of them. There's so many of them out there. We're doing the best. So we try to stay on one route during one day and just work it until it's completed, and then we shift around. So they kind of work with the blade operators. And the blades really only run in the morning because after that, they can't really do much with the mud. So. Yeah, we try to do everything in the morning we can. Afternoon, we just haul rock to the areas that aren't near as bad but still need rock. So.
Okay, thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Thank you.
Terry, you want to come on up?
Sure.
This is Terry Dopke, the United Way Director. We're going to discuss the United Way Leadership Breakfast.
Yeah, we're requesting that you help fund it again, as you have the 5 or 6 years we've been doing this. I think I've never been responsible for paying for it. You guys may know more about that than I do. I think you share with the city. And I did call Rhonda at the event center where we plan to have it and checked on prices. There will be no changes. They charge $12.25 a person. And if we have about the same breakfast as we have, last year, we paid for that times 230 people, and then there's extra charges for tablecloths and all that. But last year, the total was $3,600, and you guys paid 18 something. I don't know how much you know about this, but the reason this started was several years ago, the city had to cut back on a lot of the agencies that they help support. So Trey Cockings called me and said, can I refer them to you when people come for help? And we'll do this leadership breakfast and pay for it to give you extra funding. So that's how it started. And for us, it has become huge. We profit approximately $14,000, which that goes to the local agencies. And so for us, it has become very important.
So who are the planners of this event?
In the past, the city, the county, and myself. Eric helped a lot last year. And
So it's already been planned, it sounds like.
we've got April 26th. Ryan Moody is our speaker. We paid $1,000 for a speaker last year. The United Way did, and we're trying to stay away from. There's a lot of speakers we can get who are interesting that aren't charging. So I think Ryan Moody should be really good.
How much is he charging?
He's not charging
So
anything.
you're not giving an honorarium or anything?
Hopefully not,
Okay.
because whatever we spend is money people aren't getting. So
So who did plan it this year then?
we're in the process of planning it right now. United Way came up with the speaker. We approached him and he said, yeah, he'd love to do it. So I've just been kind of waiting to get the okay from everybody to know it's going to be funded. And we can use most of the things we've had previously.
So who on the county's been part of the planning process? Who on the county
Eric is the only one that's worked with us so far.
this year?
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, this year.
Yeah, this year we're just getting started on it,
Okay.
Jack.
Uh,
We haven't planned a whole lot other than I can pull up everything we've used in the past, update it, get it out there, so it should be fairly easy. We have the list of people we can invite. United Way, we can only fund from our area code. So the city and the county, and Eric helped with this last year, sent letters or emailed people from Kansas City we can't do that, but you guys can, which has been big for us. Construction companies that come in here and work, we invite them and they feel an obligation to our city. So the tables go from $50 a person to $2,500, and so that's been huge for us. So that's why we have to have help, because we can't go outside of our area.
Well, I know Spencer Mack is there, and
Yeah,
a lot of different providers.
yeah.
I don't know how many county providers are there, but
I don't know how many actually responded last year, but I think we put out to our auditors and some of the
engineers.
heavy machinery dealers and things like that. I had supplied addresses and phone numbers and things to them.
Mm-hmm. And last year, some of them, and I can't tell you the names right now, that couldn't make it actually did give a contribution to United Way. So, so the help, we need the money, and then help in sending out and inviting people. And other than that, we will pretty much do the work mostly ourselves.
So our obligation is to pay for the breakfast.
We're asking for you to go in with the city.
Half of it.
Uh-huh. And it's approximately $1,800, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on what kind of head count we get.
So we can do that, guys, you think?
Yeah.
No.
Great.
So we don't need a vote for that, do we? It's in the budget. Is it budgeted, or do we need a vote?
I know we didn't. This is coming up a little bit different than it did last year. I know
Right.
that we had went with it last year, and I know that we didn't have a vote. But
Yeah.
we can do
We've
it.
been doing it. We've been doing it probably 4 years.
You've done it the whole time we've had it.
So we're three of us are shaking our head. I guess.
Okay. And me too.
Okay.
Well, we really appreciate it. And like I said, it all stays here to help, so it's kind of a win-win.
Sure.
So then you'll be getting with Eric to do some planning, or?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm quite willing.
I've got you on my email list. He was great at helping last year. And,
Uh-huh.
a lot of the out-of-town businesses are paying more than our in-town are, so that's a big deal for
Well,
us.
that's new money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's money I
Yeah.
can't get any other way.
Right.
So
'Cause the local businesses are probably going to give anyway.
yeah. And if they're here working, they feel kind of an obligation to help us out. So I'll use whatever I can think of if it'll help get money.
Good.
All right, April 26th, and I will get with you guys. Thank you very much on
Okay.
behalf of
I
everybody.
have my
that's
calendar. And in order to attend, you need an invite, or it's open to the public, or?
They have to call me to reserve a seat, but yes. And we will advertise in the Globe and on CARE. Chamber of Commerce will be on there. Yeah, if they call, all they need to do, and it'll be made clear to everybody, call me and I'll hold it.
Because some of the city officials from other cities.
The city and the county have their tables.
Mhm.
We give them each 2 tables every year, so
Okay.
you're all taken care of. But if you know of anybody else, all they need to do is give me a call.
Okay.
Thank you, guys. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, moving on. Old or unfinished business before the board. Anybody aware of anything? Anybody want to bring something up? Okay, county councilor updates.
Enjoy the day. Thank you
Okay,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
We did have final hearing on the tax sale on Thursday, and the court did grant judgment, so that will be proceeding. We'll be proceeding to sale.
What's the date for that?
April 24th, I think. April 24th at
10 a.m.
At 10 a.m. And we will have all the information up on the website, the county's website, with all of the parcels that are still on the sale, and the information that we have in the appraiser's office. That is photographs of the structures, if there are any, a sketch of the structures, county's valuation, that sort of thing. I also have an explanation of the rules. After last year, we talked, the people that were involved, and I think we will have the checkout process quite a bit quicker. We had been since before I was involved with it, we've always had people write 2 checks, one for the Register of Deeds and one for the county. There's really no reason for that, because we can simply have the county write the check to the Register of Deeds. So that will speed things up some. And then actually, I think Michelle had some ideas about how we could speed up the checkout process by having receipts printed, because the real delay was the sheriff's office handwriting
So
receipts.
we take checks or cash.
Checks or cash, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not a cashless. We're not a cashless society.
Well, we're not a cashless county, that's for sure.
So how many parcels are on there currently? You can just give approximate.
60.
50. And that'll probably come down a little bit.
Typically it does, yeah. Typically it comes down some.
How does that compare to last time?
I don't know.
I didn't even look
We
at it.
had over 100 last time, if I recall.
Just sounds like it seemed like it was a lot more.
The last time.
But I don't know how many of those 100 and some paid down before the sale.
We had a rather large crowd the last time, and something that I noticed, I wish we had a better sound system, speaker system, because the sheriff was down here by the steps, and I was kind of at the back end because I wasn't actively bidding, but I had a very hard time hearing the bids and what was going on, and especially when you described the rules before, I just couldn't hear them. I don't know if there's anything available that we could use. It's just a suggestion.
I don't know. The sheriff may have something.
Can we use a courtroom?
I haven't asked.
I mean, it's a pretty good sized room.
I think the proximity to the person that's conducting the sale would be much better to hear and understand, because out here everybody gets strung out in such a long, thin line. So that might be a good, if you could check into that. I don't know if that has to make any more work.
Yeah, well, they do
change
have
the venue
courtroom too. I mean, I don't know.
I can find out. We had 76 parcels that were advertised, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that were redeemed between publication and sale. So we had 71 parcels.
So if you place a bid, your personal property taxes need to be paid up, right? Before you could place a bid?
No, well, your individual
That's what I meant.
real estate, right? It's the real estate taxes. We don't check if a person owes personal property taxes, and that's not in the statute.
I misspoke. I meant property. I meant.
Right. Those
Real
people are forbidden from purchasing at the sale.
So that's how they get their permit, is per the.
Yes, and people can get their permits ahead of time, or their bid numbers, but the clerk's office will be able to issue those, and that won't start until after the publication. So please don't call in tomorrow asking for them, but we will have the information on the website too about applying for a bid number.
Okay. Anything else, Pat?
Michelle brought something to my attention that I was wondering if you had seen this petition from the Rural Water District number 5 to bore under a road. Have you seen that?
I did. That looks to be in order to me. Did Seth not? He's still here because we're.
I just texted him. I thought it was something you guys were going to discuss today. It was on the morning work session. So.
I think Seth brought it up, but we wanted Pat to look it over before we signed off on it.
He had emailed those to me a week ago or several days ago, and we had looked at them.
He just basically made a comment that they just need to be signed, approved and signed.
Okay, so
I think there's
yeah, my only question was if Pat had an opportunity to see it and everything was in order.
Yes, and they've been very easy to work with. If we, in the very few occasions where we've needed to move water lines, that they've done so, and they've done so at their cost, and they're agreeing to do that here as well. So.
Okay, so I have two requests for petitions for water line extensions, one to the Darrell Drimmel place and one to the Lane Chew place. There's no real cost. There's no cost to the county. I just want to be able to put it across our right of way. So I would entertain a motion to do these two requests for petitions.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'm assuming ready to vote. All those in favor?
I presume that if we ever have to change the roads, that they have to move theirs. That's at their cost.
Yes,
Okay.
that's included explicitly in there.
It's in the agreement there, yeah. So, any other discussion? I should be ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0. You know, Pat, I missed this because I don't think Seth actually brought it up.
This morning he
It
did
was,
say.
it was in the file.
Was it in the file? Okay. He said something that to the effect of, I know there's something else and I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
So I think that's the reason we didn't get it discussed in work session this morning.
I knew we had quite a bit he was discussing.
Yeah, we had.
We got off the subject.
Yeah.
Or different subject.
Oh, I did have one other thing, and are we having a meeting the day after tomorrow on the sales tax?
Yes. That is the 28th at 1:30
Yeah,
at City Hall.
At City Hall. Okay, I'll see you then.
Okay.
Okay, executive session. Are you for an executive session? Shall we entertain a motion to adjourn
I so
at
moved.
1:27?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes 3-0.